no secrets.
Oh, you certainly have a lot to share.
Oh, well, we all do, don't we?
I think so. I do. That's what I specialize in is stories.
Wonderful.
Yes. So, where do we start? Should I tell you what I do? And then,
I I downloaded the PDF for the January. It said host only, but I do things that I'm maybe not supposed to do. So I saw that, but
you jumped
tell me,
ahead. I just literally updated that for February
wow, what are the dates in February?
23rd to the 25th.
23rd to the 25th. Um, okay. And just is it the same kind of timings?
Yes.
What timings are they?
Ev-
Do you know
ev-
off the top of your head what they would be for
I I do.
UK?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
go
do.
on then.
Yeah, I do. They're East times, East Coast times. Friday, the 23rd is 5 to 7 p.m.
Right.
Saturday and Sunday are the same times from 2 to 6 p.m.
And you said that's Eastern time,
That's
or is
correct.
that so GMT? I can work it out, but
What time is it there for you now, honey?
it is just gone 7:30 in the evening.
Okay, so we're 5 hours difference.
Okay, right. Well, that's great. Uh,
Wonderful.
yeah, good, good.
Yes, so it's very exciting what's happening with the Rattled Awake series. People have just kind of picked up the vibe that it's a movement, and I love that. I love that so much. Yeah.
Well done, you.
Yeah, thanks. It's never been easier to become a published author in a week. I make the book a bestseller. We do it together. Yeah, I know, right? And it's so the premise is over the last 5 years, what single thing that you want to talk about? Because there's been a lot that shook you, rattled you, um, caused you to have an aha or epiphany and a pivot, and share that with the readers so that they can relate, and that's what I help people do. I'm a story development editor and coach and content strategist.
And
And
you said the last year,
in the last 5 years.
oh, in the last 5 years. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big spread. And even though the stories are wildly different, that's the common thread that
Yeah.
brings us all into, we're all rowing in the same boat going, wow, what just happened? Okay. you know? uh, and
Yeah.
my personal passion has been for the majority of my chapters. I always wonder what I'm going to talk about next. But mine has been food and also personal safety. One chapter I did was inspired by watching a guy out in the bush doing stealth camping, and he said, now I'm going to time myself, and I'm going to see if I can get out of my sleeping bag and out of here in a minute. And he failed the first time, and he got it the second time, and it made me think back to a 10 alarm fire that happened here at my complex. In the last 5 years, a lot's happened. And I'll never forget. I get moved. I'll never
Yeah.
forget watching people scramble down, jump from balconies, old people scrambling down, square banisters, ouch.
God.
And the majority of people ended up barefoot in pajamas. The life that they had just ended, and the new one they started barefoot in pajamas.
Oh, wow.
And so yeah, I took that stealth camper video to the next level, and I said, I have a way for you to be able to leave your house if you had to in 3 minutes. And so I wrote a chapter on how to be prepared, what to pack, where to pack it, put the first aid kit on top, have those shoes ready at the door, make sure all your documents are in one place, all these logical things so that people can if they have to, for whatever reason, they can start, they can get out the door
Yeah.
and they'll have what they need with them. So
Yeah.
I've been very practical in some of my chapters, and a couple of them are transformational stories and
Yeah.
personal growth. The majority of people do write about that, or uh, some sort of tip that will help parents do better, to stop
Yeah.
yelling at their kids, or
Oh
things
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
What I love about what you've written in your intake form is that the past is in our imaginations, and now is what we can create, and then because there's so much coming at us that is saying it's going to be awful, and it's by design. And I really I would love to have you in the book, because you bring that hope
Mm.
that we can make a difference, and
Oh
we
yeah.
don't have to accept what the clowns on parade are telling us is going to be our world. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. I'm more optimistic every day.
I
So,
love that. Oh,
oh yeah, we won this ages ago. We, we're building peace now. That's all that's happening.
oh my God, I can't wait to introduce you to some of the other co-authors, Alan.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, there's Benefiel. Zen started an organization, Live and Let Live. He's all about peace and all about bringing this new concept of, at first he was calling it his New World Order. And I said, you need to stop calling it that, because when you say that, I think of Klaus Schwab. And he says, well, that's our chance to educate people. I said, no, that's what happens. They turn off and they go the other way. So let's find another way to put that. We made it. And right. And yeah, as long as we can keep on that, but at the same time, be ready. Like,
Yeah.
they
Oh
burned
yeah.
2,000 food processing plants here in the US. They all burned down over a year, mysteriously overnight. Nobody knows why.
Mm.
And they're not coming back. And a lot of people don't know that. And while it's all well and good to think positive, the truth is you should be buying more rice and beans. But quite honestly, you should be getting ready, because they're already launching warnings that we're going to be assaulted with cyber attacks and infrastructure attacks. And most people don't realize that the grocery store only has 3 days worth of food at best.
Yeah.
And, and then when the power's been off for 4 days, what you going to do? So, I try to make humorous deliveries of these alerts
Yeah.
that, yeah. My first chapter was it was called the pressure canner, or the pressure cooker. And it was a year-long standoff with my pressure canner. Like, I'm a trained chef. They did not teach us how to use a pressure canner. Okay. And I was noticing what was going on with the food and stuff back in 2020. And I was like, okay, I'll get one. And then I held it at arm's length and I kept moving it around my house. I'm like, I'm so scared of this thing. For a year. It was a year-long standoff. And so I wrapped these few facts around this kind of funny story.
Yeah.
Self-effacing is my thing.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah. It just so that they can, I see them as kids who don't know, and you don't want to startle them.
No,
One of
that's
my
right.
one of my core principles as a writing coach, editor, that kind of thing, is don't traumatize your reader, okay? Don't traumatize them. You
Yeah.
know, you
Yeah.
want to skip rocks across the rough seas and get them through it so that they can get to the other side and go, oh, okay, there's hope. Yep, there is. There.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Beautifully put. Yeah. Lovely. Can I ask what, well, I'm going to ask, what's the optimum or average number of words do you think works?
Great question. I put a minimum of 1,500. I've seen people come up with 4,500, and that in the size book that we do, that's a lot. So I recommend about 2,500, I would say.
Wow.
Um,
Okay. That's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Concentrates the mind. Excellent.
Yes, and it does sometimes it varies. I'm looking through my books right now. I'm rifling through my books. So sometimes this is my author proof. So they're smaller, they're
Yeah.
smaller, and that's what I want, because what we
Yeah.
know in publishing
Great.
is that if they don't finish the story, they don't get the benefit of the message.
Yeah.
And
That's it.
so
That's it. And
Yeah.
what's the point size or the font size that you work on?
I love that you're asking me these things. Nobody does this.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will publish in Times. My formatter does that. My formatting program for the books, and 12 point. And I do ask in the workshop to please don't do a bunch of formatting. Please, I have to undo it and redo it back in the program. So
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. And what about the margins on the pages? What irritates me about books is not enough of the gutter, you know. So you got to bend, break the spine to see it. You got. Can you show me the inside,
I can.
please?
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
So,
Yeah, that's lovely.
so it's not too bad. And you
No,
don't,
that looks
uh,
pretty good to me.
yeah, that's right smack in the middle too. And I'm one-handed doing this, so it's not
Yeah, yeah,
it's not
yeah, yeah,
hard. Such a
yeah.
great question. I love this. Yeah.
Oh well, thank you.
And
And
I just, since I
pictures
opened
on
to
it.
this page, I just wanted to point out that there's an image here that this
Yeah,
author wanted to share. I welcome images.
right, great. Because
Yes.
I love Flash. I'm not going to do Flash, and I might do a few little hand drawings myself. You know, just like childlike drawings. Although
Oh,
I'm quite a
yeah.
good drawer. So I might just do some quick sketches because that I like that the difference, and I love the cartoony approach. Your picture tells 1,000,000,000,000,000 words, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, that's great. You carry on though.
that's wonderful. I would welcome that. So the book is printed in black and white. I let people know photographs, they don't really transfer that great. If they want
Yeah.
to add them, they can. As
Yeah.
long as what you're adding supports your story or it makes sense. You
Yeah.
know, that's really what we want.
Okay.
Not just, I have an illustrator, and boy, is she good. And she will work with authors too to illustrate, not people like you. I'm not offering it. I'm
Oh no, but it might be that one particular. It might be that something or all of them, one or any number. If I do some sketches that your illustrator says, "Oh, I can do a much better job on all of those," and then in that case, great. That'll be what is meant to happen. So I'm open about all of this kind of stuff.
right on. These are some of her illustrations, where she had an author hire her. He gave her some photos
Yeah,
of himself as a child, and then she was able to put them into his story in multiple scenarios. Like that's the same little boy, but she put him on a bicycle. So I'm
yeah.
just
Oh
showing you
wow,
that this is what
wow.
happens. Yeah, yeah, she's really, really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
yeah.
Brilliant.
She does charge. It's not
Yeah.
included. Okay. And I mean, look at what she can do. This is to convey a bully.
Oh
She
wow, I
drew the
love it.
house, and
Oh
then
God, I love it.
isn't that
Wow.
powerful?
Yeah,
She's
that's
so good.
fantastic.
She's so good. Uh,
I've got
um,
I've got another question. I don't want to miss it. You have this very interesting charging arrangement. If that is still applying for February,
no, it's
what?
not.
Oh, okay,
So
tell me what the deal is or the finance.
yeah, I'm sorry that I didn't get it
All right,
updated. It's 580.
dollars.
Yes, dear.
Okay, and that's for the weekend. And what else is included? Or
Um,
not illustrations, but what else is included in that?
editing. So we do peer reviews and editing in the workshop, but then I do the final edits, and then I completely produce the book for you, for
Yeah,
everybody. And that includes, so the back has everyone's photo. Every cover looks different so that it's unique in remarkable, in color and design.
yeah,
Uh, and then I also we do this together. We do the book launch to make it a bestseller. And I know all the ropes. I get the book published and then promoted. And I used to work for someone who charged $3,500 to do just that. Just
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I can tell you now that's a really good price. I'm in.
It is. I know it
Uh,
is.
oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I know enough to know when something is wonderful. How many authors altogether in the book?
So far, I don't have a final tally. Ideally, we have 9 to 11.
And
And
that's
I'm
the
just,
February one that's going to be
yes,
my
and
one.
I'm just now building that book, if you will.
Yeah,
So I don't have a tally at the moment. The reason that I prefer that is because our united effort is less of an effort when there's more people.
yeah,
All ships rise with the tide.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so
Okay.
when the collaborative effort is we're all linking arms and circling the wagons and boosting each other and
Yeah.
yeah. And if you look through the website, also what's included are the memes, the promotional things. If you like, I can show you what that looks like.
Yeah, please do.
Sure. Okay, let's see here. Let me just find the page and then I'll share that. Okay, I've updated this and I'm confused about which page it's on. It's all over the place. Hang on a second and I will show you. Um, well, let me see here. Volume 6. Let's see this. So volume 6. Okay, let me show you this one. I did that specifically for podcasters to help the entire movement to bring in podcasters on
Mm.
purpose,
Mm.
to help everyone connect and then be able to expand. So, all right. So this is an example. Of course, ours will look different. I haven't chosen the cover yet, the color.
Yeah,
But this I created, and so everyone had their photo in here like this. And when
yeah,
we launched, it said free today, and then told people to go to Amazon. We do a free book launch.
yeah,
Excuse me. And then I update all the memes, so that then it shows the award. And
yeah,
then these are chapter memes.
yeah,
So what I do is I have so much fun figuring out how to visually represent what you're saying,
yeah,
what you have to say. And so these then are used by the co-authors. Like this is my chapter on safety, personal safety. And I always ask writers, what are you selling? What are you selling? What's the message? And I realized I was selling peace of mind with the being able to pack and get out. So, so I created this one for myself. And then this is a lady who's writing about adoption. And
wow,
uh-huh. And then let's see. He's writing about his background in war in several foreign countries.
yeah,
Um, let's see. And then Sean's a chef. There's those kind of things are relevant to them. Okay.
yeah,
So those are a small example of chapter memes. I actually made a video for everyone as well, where all the
wow,
chapters, um, yeah, where it all scanned through the chapter titles and whatever I can do to promote, to help you guys to facilitate, to promote, um, is really my jam. I
yeah,
love to do that. So
great, wow,
that's part of it. The other thing is that's true is let me see if I can show you some of these. The other thing that's true is that there's all these other authors behind that have already been published. And so it's a much bigger collaboration coming, you're walking into a group of a
wow,
lot of people.
wow,
Here, I'll show you this. No sound, just 4 second,
yeah,
just to show their title.
yeah,
And then that's Zen. That's the guy I know you guys will hit it off. Mark is a highly published author, and so is he. So that was it. Just a simple little video.
wow. And what I'm looking at here then is the preparation for volume 6. Is that right?
That was all volume 6. Yep,
That was volume 6, and that's done. That one is
that's
that right?
correct.
And
That's
so
correct.
the next one, the February one, I'll be in is volume 7. Is it?
That's correct.
Okay, great. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I love it when brilliance emerges and declares itself and shows itself, and it's, oh wow, it's even better than I imagined.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
Oh, tickled pink by the reception. Yeah, I think our next bit of conversation ought to be like, what's the thing that you'd like to mention? And oh, I wanted to let you know also that I understand you have so much to say and probably have 3 books in you. The cool thing about this is that uh from we do a week, and it's an intensive weekend, and then a week of we did a promotion by Saturday, the workshop ends Sunday, Monday-ish. By Saturday you're an international best-selling author. Right? What? And that I know.
Yeah,
and
fantastic.
and it lasts forever. So whatever it is that you publish from then on is, you've got this title, and it does matter. It really does make a difference.
Yeah.
And so yeah, future public or published works will have that. Um,
The thing that is the obvious um, idea that comes to me, that came to me in the last 5 years, is about my theory of infinite universes, and they're all inside our heads, and we make our own reality.
I love it.
And so that relates to, it's very inclusive because everybody makes their own reality and can do, and you people can go as deep as they want um, with it. So I think it is very inclusive. It certainly is to me, and it comes from the heart. And I think it's unique. I don't think there's anyone else that's really kind of talking about this. And I have got a little bit of exciting sort of evidence that says, okay, well, a Nobel Prize winner actually acknowledged what I'd written about this, and was Jim Peebles, I think, who won the Nobel Prize for astrophysics or something like that in 2018 or 19. And that's really what, when I saw that, I then emailed him and I said, how about my theory of infinite universes? And they're all inside our heads. And he said something like, life is wonderful, keep thinking. And I thought, I'm doing that, yeah, but because I don't really believe Einsteinian physics. I'm more of a Zen kind of Tibetan Buddhist at heart, but I've got my own version of what realities are, which one does. If you come up with the theory of infinite universes and they're all inside our heads, then so that is something that I could have a lot of fun with.
Oh, I would love this. Love this. And what a great idea to share. Wow, this is going to be a stunner. It's going to
Oh
be
well,
so great.
I'm honoured to be part of Volume 7.
I'm excited to have you. Are you kidding? Wow. Wow. I've been putting it out there. I said, I want people that are on tip of the spear, that are progressive in thinking, and that know what's going on and have a different thought about it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
Yeah, well,
you.
that suits me fine. The bleeding edge, they used to say, didn't they? I like the Möbius strip. You've seen that, the infinity symbol. That's a strip of paper, and you swap it, you twist it once, join it together, and it goes on forever. You're on the outside, and then it's the inside, and it just carries on. You draw a pencil line around it and think it's going to go around one side, but it actually goes over both sides. It's crazy. And the fact that it's the infinity symbol, it's kind of says, well, this is how difficult understanding infinity is. So why bother? Just enjoy it.
At least I'm enjoying the ride. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Um,
it.
yes. So one of the things that really makes something stick for
Yeah,
a reader is that they find there's a relatable point in it.
yeah,
And when you bring a new concept to the table, a lot of times people first they want to reject it.
yeah,
Um, I don't know if you've heard this, but
yeah,
if you're ahead of if you're one idea ahead of the masses, you're a genius. If you're two, you're a crackpot. It's like, no, come on. But that
Yeah.
is how people think. And I don't. I love it. I love out there. I want that, you know.
But you make a really, really good point, and I like to think that well, I'm pretty confident that working with other people will help me get the balance right. It is about balance and opening a door or planting a seed for the people that are open to that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good way to put it. I remember recently someone's they were, hey, you know, if you what would be your superpower? And I went first and I said my superpower would be that I could eliminate limiting beliefs for those who wanted it. And
Hmm.
then the rest of the crew was like, "Oh, we can't even follow that." I was gonna be like, "I want to fly" or whatever. Like, no, I really, if we could, but it would only be for the ones who want that because
Yeah.
not everybody does.
Yeah.
So, you know, we have to qualify it and understand that's the case. Not
Yeah.
everybody wants to be woken up to
No,
possibilities.
exactly. I think it's a beautiful concept to have this, whether it's 9, 10, 11 authors, there's something for everybody there, and they'll be connected, they'll be part of a whole, and yet different facets, different ways of looking at, whatever is meaning, whatever's meaningful to the audience, there's something for everybody there. And each one is opening a door to the next in a way.
It's true. And what I've noticed, so my background comes from doing self-help books
Okay.
and ghostwriter, editor, content strategist, that self-help books. So it was very, very direct into a certain avatar. So there's a difference. There's an audience, and then
Yeah.
there's the avatar. And the avatar would be the person, say you were a coach and you wanted clients. Their avatar would be your ideal client, but your audience might be athletes, and your ideal avatar would be men who want to run faster. I'm making it up, right?
Yeah.
But
Okay.
so there's two, you know, the avatar and the audience. Well, what I've noticed that's different about Rattled Awake that I love, it defies. I've always been this person. Let me just get outside the usual things people say, right? And it defies the rules that I've been telling these self-help authors because it does work for their book, but for this one, the point is that a book written for everyone speaks to no one in particular. Now, I understand that. But what I found with Rattled Awake is that the messages end up being universal messages. They are not just for that runner that wants to be better. They
Mm.
are, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you just have to work, whatever the advice would be.
Mm.
I hope I don't lose my impact here with scrambling for an example.
It's good. I understand. I understand you. There are
Okay.
some things that are universal, and if you can touch people at the level of the soul,
Yes,
intuitively, people engage with it. They might not know how they're engaging with it. They might not be able to articulate it. In fact, it's good if they can't. But if they can feel it, they can feel it. I always think a useful um, uh, test, I don't like the word, but I'll use it. And what the hell, it's only a word, would be could you read this to a child for a
yes,
bedtime story? And would they engage with it and understand? So is it
beautiful.
that accessible? Is it that? And that's why I love the ambiguity. I love saying things and with pictures that are fairly easy, even though what they're putting across are matters of the soul. It's as deep as people want to go with it.
It
But
is.
so that's my aim to make it that accessible. Yeah, lovely.
It's
I'm loving this. Thank you.
yeah, no, this is my treat. It really is. So excuse me. The the so in self-help it was what problem do you solve? You know, what is the thing that they're what's in it for them? What's in it for them?
Yeah.
And I think about excuse me, I think about your message and it even lands on me quite heavily. Even though I'm the what is what shows up, what you make of it's up to you kind of gal. Okay. Like I really am. You create your own reality. But I am. I have been that person, studied metaphysics since I was 20. So like I really get that stuff. Um, but at the same time, you know, this barrage of, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy and you eat the bugs and, just like, fuck you. I don't want this, You're a psychopath. Why are people listening to you? What the hell? And so it's very challenging to look at actual concrete. This is what's going on. They're all, they're signing the pandemic treaty everywhere, and saying people are going to have to follow suit from people that weren't elected to tell us what to do. I really hate that part. And then you come in and go, well, we create our own reality. It's like, okay, how do we do that within this? What do we do? And if there's any part of you that can say, that's the thing I could write to. It
Yeah.
looks like this, but it can be like this.
Yeah.
If you
Okay.
if you are able to convey that,
Yeah.
that's a game changer.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think I'm not going to do it now, but I
No.
think that I have those. I have those, and I have real solid examples of how things are not what they seem. And when you start to discover this, then you can experiment with it and prove it to yourself that things are what they seem. So I'll not say any more about
Oh,
that at the moment, but oh yeah,
oh my goodness. For years, I've quoted the Zen koan that says things are not as they seem, nor are they otherwise. And that's just a real mind fuck. And it's just like, what? What? Hang on, what? you know And yeah, that's the purpose of a koan. Come on, come on. But if that's a reality that we could bring forth, like I mentioned to you with John Lukash, we were talking about doing this
yeah,
live wall of, well, let's look back and say, look, this is how we fix stupid, this is how we fixed tyranny, this is how we
yeah,
overcame. I love
yeah.
that thinking.
And that is exactly that's helping to manifest so the process of saying this is how we fixed it is fixing it,
Yes.
because the conscious, this is somebody else's quote, not mine, but and I can probably reference it. The conscious is the starter motive of the subconscious, and the subconscious is a collective thing. And so when we put things out there consciously and we say, this is already, then the subconscious, which is our own and collective, that starts to work because the subconscious doesn't understand the difference between black or white or day or night, but it will take instruction from the conscious. So when you're doing this with John Lukash, and when people are being optimistic and saying, oh, well, I'm already there, this has already happened, that becomes the reality. But it does in a practical way. So that when you say to someone, um, how are you today? And somebody says, I'm miserable. Then that person goes on and tells the next person, I've just seen so and so, and they said they're miserable. They tell the next person. And then people treat you as if you're miserable because you've told them. But if you say the opposite, when anybody ever asks me how I am, I say I'm better than ever. And I am better than ever because that person is going to go on and tell the next person. I just seen Alan, he's crazy. He says, better than ever every day. And I don't care if people think he's crazy. It's a good crazy.
Oh, it
I
is.
want to be like that. And I know that that changes my whole environment because that's how people think of me. I'm not fazed by anything. I love all this. I love what's going on. We're being reborn. So, yeah, I love it.
Oh my God, what a gift you are. I'm so excited to have you. I am.
Well, thank you. I'm just, I
A
say
big
to people,
deal.
I'm
You're a
just a
big deal.
mirror.
No,
I'm just a
you're
mirror. It's so you are enabling me to be like this.
I'm so happy to hear that, whatever it is. Just I'm so freaking happy you're here. And you want to be in Rattled Awake. It's just huge. It is.
You.
I wanted to elevate this series. I'm sorry to get emotional, but it's been my dream to elevate this series to this thing we're talking about. And it hasn't it hasn't happened yet, but it's starting to with you. How about
Oh,
that?
well, no. I, I, I'm just a facet of everybody else's soul. It's all.
You
It's
know,
all kind of so I don't take the credit or in any way for this. I'm simply a facet of what everybody wants. Everybody wants this peaceful, beautiful human planet reinvented and reborn. And I'm simply a kind of expression of that.
yeah, you are. But you know, what's different is that I've been looking for people that have gotten beyond their personal and they're
Mm,
looking at more collective. They're looking at bigger picture things.
mm, mm.
And I'm like, where are you? Where are you guys? Find the others. Help me find the others. Because that's what I want to broadcast.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a love thing. It's completely selfless. It's just okay. This is great. Let's do this. And because love is infinite, it's free. The more you do it, the more you realize it costs nothing, and it is an infinite power, and it amplifies all around the world, everywhere.
I was in a workshop this morning and I ended up lowering my hand to speak because the parameters that they put on this topic, I couldn't really relate to it. And what they were saying is it started out scientific, the dopamine hit that you get by giving, and can you be the first person to give and in a belonging thing. And I was like, what's the belonging part? I said, you know, they're like, well, you know, with a relationship or with your family. And I said, but I do it with everybody. I don't understand this
Yeah, it's unconditional. Yeah.
in this box.
Mm.
I'll lower my hand and I'll just listen because I didn't relate. Like there's so much to give and it feels great. And I'm not going to have it just be with people around me. And yes, I've been burned a lot by giving maybe air quote to the wrong people or been taken advantage of what time, you know
Mm.
how that goes. But it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop, you know? Why would it? You know, so some people, you know, they just don't get it and they'll, you know, whatever, they'll piss on a good thing. And I've seen that.
Mm.
But it doesn't mean that to stop, you know, it's just like
Oh
I'm not going
no,
to
no,
change my
because
nature.
no, that's right. Everything's for a reason. It's stepping stones, isn't it? And these people are, they'll catch up. Everybody's on their own path, and everybody's growing and learning. And some people get stuck, and some people die, and they come round again probably to learn again. Who knows? I don't know, but it doesn't matter. It's just okay. Have fun and enjoy it, and be full of love, and have a lot of sympathy and compassion for the people that are struggling, all the people, and even the psychopaths. This is tricky, but I don't like to, at times I get, ah, especially through humor, and will, uh, uh, I don't know, be a bit unkind to people who should be, say, in a mental home, really,
Yeah.
because they're so deranged. And you've got to think, well, the reason they're like that is that they've already been so badly traumatized as a child. It, they don't need any more of that from me. And I want to be what I want the world to be. So you be love. Doesn't mean to say that you forgive and forget unconditionally and just let everybody carry on. No, you have to put a stake in the sand at some point and say, that's not acceptable behavior, or these are lies and these need to be uncovered, and we need to get to the bottom of this. And that's very practical. We have to do that. But underneath it all, it's to recognize that the psychopaths are psychopaths because they've been terrifically badly traumatized. And I feel sorry for them. So it's pity, isn't it? We have pity for people that are so deranged or sick that they can't see it. They don't understand it. They had the love bit removed from their brain in a way. And so I feel very sorry for them.
I love what you just said about there is a love, but we still need to take care of these things. We still need
Oh
to,
yeah.
this has,
Yeah.
because are you familiar with the term spiritual bypassing?
Oh no, I love that though. Um,
So spiritual bypassing is Um, it's a bit of a, it's been put into the air quote new age category of people who just go, there's only rainbows
Yeah.
and unicorns. And a number of my chapters, because I'm not that person, I won't agree to that. I say, are you one of those people that thinks it's fine, everything's fine, it's supposed to be like this? And I
Hmm.
said, no, it's not. It's
Yeah.
not okay that they're destroying the earth. It's not okay that they're ruining our food. It's not okay that the water is unsafe.
Mhm.
It isn't
Mhm.
supposed to be like this. Stop it. It's
Yeah,
spiritual
that's it.
bypassing. And
Yeah,
yeah, that's what that
that
term.
makes that's absolutely right. That's a great term. I'd not heard of that, but that makes sense
What I
to me.
love about you is that you don't do that. You are very practical, very grounded. You get it. There's issues, there's things caused by these psychopaths. Compassion for them. Get off the crazy train and stop affecting our world. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah,
Can you
that's it.
play along nicely with others? No? Okay. Go over there. You
Yeah, that's
know?
it. That's
Stop.
it.
You know?
Mm,
Please. But I've had I knew someone who um worked on the ether realms, the metaphysical world of the invisible. And she her job was to work with the dark side, the
yeah.
shadows, the shadows of, you know. And she said over and over again, she's gone to them and said, would you like to change? Would you like to? And they won't. They refuse. They put their proverbial feet in the ground and say no.
Mm,
And and she says, I feel badly for them because they're so scared of letting go of any kind of sense of power or control
yeah,
in their life, even though it's dark and it's horrible and they're
yeah.
she said they won't let go. They
No,
won't come to
that's
the light.
absolutely right. And you said it. I say that as well. They're frightened. They're so frightened. And the longer this goes on, the more frightened they become, and it's terribly sad for them. But as I said, and as you're echoing, there is a practical side to this, and to me, I think this cybernetics and love thing is very um, helpful. It is for me anyway. So that the cybernetics provides the practical approach that the unit within the system with the most behavioral responses available to it. I don't like controls, but is able to respond to everything that's going on better than anything else. Controls the system is the shorthand for that. Uh, and that's merging with love. So we have to be able to switch between love and this very practical approach to say, okay, well, that needs this. So, because there will be some of these people who go through their own rebirth and then they're just horrified with how they've been all their lives, but that's fine. So, some of these people will say, I don't know how I can ever forgive myself, but I want to be a good person now. And it's great. Yeah, let's help these people.
Yeah. I remind me to introduce you to Dr. New as well. She's all about that very NHU, Dr. New Trong, Trung, or Uong, Dr. New Trong. And she is all about love. She's
Oh, that's great.
all about it. So
NHUTR.
NHU is her first name,
Yeah.
and then Truong, Trong. Let's see.
Okay. Super.
Truong. Yeah. Here she is. Um, See the gal on with the long dark hair?
Okay. Wonderful. Yeah.
That's Dr.
Right.
Trung. And then there's another guy, Doma. I can't wait to introduce you to Doma and Sam Leibovitz. These guys are these past authors. What a great group. I'm so excited to include you in this. Oh my
Oh.
God. Are there others like you?
Oh yeah. There are.
Good.
Um, there are. Barbara J is amazing, and Maria Hennings Hunt. They've done loads of work on themselves. They've been through loads and loads of trauma, and they're 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 women, which is great because I'm a man, so I can speak to men probably more easily than I can speak to women. But Barbara J. Hunt, um, who wrote a book on forgiveness, she's fantastic. And Maria, who is a partner of sorts of mine that goes back, what, 40 to 1978. And we had 35 years apart. I mean, I can't put this into the book, but it informs me. It's made me who I am, and it makes me, well, I know that there are some much more um, compassionate, balanced, fantastic people out there, and I certainly know a few of them. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I appreciate that you do. And I'm looking for authors. So,
Well, when I start this, I should think Maria is very interested in this already. She's published her own after 20 years. She published a couple of beautiful children's books, self-published, and they one particularly, the Lullaby Fairy, just makes me cry every time I read it, and it's only a little tiny children's book, but it's so beautiful. And so Maria's a great writer, but her soul is fantastic, and she's into what we're into. She engages with different things in her own ways, and they know people as well, and that's how this works. Likes attract, don't they?
that's why I'm saying, Alan, let's find the others. Where are
Mhm.
they? We could
Yeah.
have the most incredible, I wouldn't necessarily call it like the podcaster's edition, but I know it would carry a unique vibe.
Oh yeah. Wow. Yeah.
And I would love to have more of this,
Yeah.
as opposed to the variety of chapters. I would love to have more people that have overcome trauma, pivoted, and said, I can do this. You know,
Wow. Yeah.
absolutely. And also, by the way, with her having her kids' books, if she were to do this, the bios that I guide people to write a bio in a certain way would point to her books. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that then the eyes can be on her books.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Because I'm a marketing minded writer first. So it's
Yeah,
like,
well, it's all part of it. Yeah, it's
yeah,
all absolutely part of it.
yeah,
And
yeah. Uh,
this this is meant to happen. It has a life of its own, clearly, and all of these things will happen, I'm sure, for the greater good. For it's an evolutionary step change. Humanity has never really done this before, so um, it's very exciting to be part of it.
It is. I have on my dry erase board, which I just looked at, the simple phrase, just allow optimism to enter.
Mhm.
And that is just such a great mindset shift
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
yeah. And you are just that in optimism with legs and a sweater, you know. So, okay.
Brilliant.
I,
Yeah,
I yep.
we're coming up to nearly time, so it's
Okay.
fantastic. What happens next? What's the next step for me?
I do online invoices. I can send
Yeah,
you an online invoice uh
yeah,
through Square. And then I'll also send, oh, so there's other resources that come along with this. I've done, yeah. So I've done a couple of audio trainings with someone I used to work with. Um, and it's how to write your bestseller in an hour. It's a format. Yeah, I know. And also why you need to be a bestseller. These are really informative stories, full of stories. Yes, it's a great listen. With the how to write your bestseller in an hour, it is a quadrant format of who you are now, what problem you solve, and if they don't do it, what will happen. I don't want that. I don't want self-help stories. But
yeah,
I do share this because it reminds people of the elements of their chapter that they want to make sure to cover, to
yeah.
include.
Okay. Yeah,
So I'll send that over to you. I'll get a headshot from you. I'll start building I'm so excited to have this conversation with you. Your headshot can be casual. Don't worry about the background. I fix them. Last edition went from 14 to 8. And so the cover can be in a flux motion right up until the day I publish. But
yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
That was just the podcasters. Boy, talk about dealing with some artists. Whew. Anyway, love them.
Yeah.
Moving right along. Let's see what else. So that's just sort of the pre-work. You're welcome to start writing if you want to. Sounds like you have no problem writing. My workshop, a lot of people get stuck getting started. They
Yeah.
don't know how to open. And
Yeah.
I specialize in what I call springboard phrases that open up the oh, and
Yeah.
uh, and so I'll just share with you one of those exercises that
Yeah.
since I get that you're ambitious and talented. So this exercise is called rave reviews.
Yeah.
And just use your imagination at the end of your chapter. What would you hope was a review about it? What would you hope that a reader said, felt? What was their takeaway? And write 3 to 5 imaginary rave reviews. And that's going to tell me a lot about what you want out of your chapter. So don't think about it that way. I've kind of revealed my hand telling you that. But just it could be a couple words. It could
I love
be
that.
like an Amazon review. It could
I
be,
love that. Thank you.
you're welcome. You get it. What a pleasure.
Likewise. Thank you.
My goodness, my brother. You really are. I can feel you so much.
Connie, thank you. Yeah.
Thank
Good.
you, Alan.
We can finish early, then you can have a
Yeah.
rest.
Okay. All
Beautiful.
right, dear.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
So I
much.
look forward. So I'll get an email from you with an
Yes.
invoice.
Yes. And it'll come from Square, which is my merchant provider. Um, but and don't be thrown off. So Lonnie Ray is my pen name. I used that when I published my first book, Life Lessons Learned from a Lousy Mother, and I'm not
Yeah.
a mother. Okay. But my legal name is Alexis Ray, so just don't be thrown off by that. I just wanted to let you know.
Okay.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and Alan, what is the email that you use to sign to do this appointment? Is that your email?
That I've got several, but that's the one. ac@alanchapman.com.
Okay. All right.
Um, there is a history to that email because years ago in the early 2000s, I don't think I explained this. My website that I don't control anymore. It used to get 125,000 spam emails every day.
Oh,
Ah,
what?
it was mad. A dictionary spam. So it was just
Oh,
loads and loads of names at alanchapman.com. My hosting provider used to love it because it got him to test his systems that he could deal with that amount of spam. But because of that, ac@alanchapman.com sometimes is blocked by servers. I've got about 10 other email addresses. So you can send to other email addresses as well. But try ac@alanchapman.com first. And then if I think I'll get it because the universe is they know what they're doing. And because I've already got an engagement with you, then there's a channel that works. So that should work. If it doesn't,
do you
um,
do you have a Gmail by any
I
chance?
do. It's Rude Angel Blues. Yeah, and that's about Leanne, who was my partner, and we made an album, and she killed herself in 2015. It's a big story. So
Oh my, I'm sorry.
that's all right. Thank you very much. She's everywhere. She's guiding this.
Right on. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Um,
it.
so
So
the
that's
reason that I ask that is because Google Drive ends up being a collective for our stories. And
yeah,
every time we try to share with a non-Google or
yeah,
non-Gmail, it becomes
yes,
a problem.
yeah, yeah. Because yeah,
So if there's a Gmail that we could maybe use for this
yeah. That's
project,
that is Rude Angel Blues. All one. Rude Angel Blues.
okay. And the email that I'll be coming to you from now on is tagline queen at
Oh,
Gmail,
okay.
because that's what I do.
Right.
I'm the
Tagline.
queen of, yeah, queen of taglines, pithy one-liners.
Gra-
Yeah,
Less is more. Tagline
yeah,
queen at gmail.com.
yes.
Okay. That's all good.
Oh, and also so you know, the workshop is recorded, so you always have it for reference. Later on, whatever. It goes like this. Friday is a meet and greet. I'm going to send you the format for the bio, which
Yeah.
is Alan Chapman is on a mission to, and then you fill in the blank.
Yeah.
That's pretty standard. You can vary it up. Alan Chapman, the enlightened, wonderful one, is on a mission to blah blah blah. I mean, you could vary it a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so I get those before the workshop, and your message, your message is really the most important thing. You probably noticed that in the intake form. What's your message? Who's it for? Your message is can create any reality we want, or whatever your message is. You bring
Mm.
that to the workshop on Friday. And it's really a wonderful couple of hours of people introducing themselves and sharing what their pivotal moment was and what they want to accomplish. Um, and then Saturday is and listen, I've had people attend the entire workshop and they had their chapter and submitted a week before. So, you know, I have, and that's fine. Saturday is for those who have no idea how to start, and they, then I get the story development things that happen, that happen. What I mean is, um, uh, springboard phrases, ways to open your, because I vet everybody this way, so I know who's coming in with what. And then so Saturday is a lot of writing. People are welcome to turn their camera off if they go like, oh, I got an idea. I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's casual. Saturday night they end up writing their butts off. And then Sunday you bring your work in, so to speak. Your chapters ideally ready to be peer reviewed, and I'll put people into Zoom rooms together, and then you have an exchange and make sure that other people can understand your writing just as well as you thought you were saying it.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
those third party insights make a difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, and then uh s- so Monday at the latest, chapters are finalized and turned into me. And I'll give you all of this in a February schedule of events, so it'll all be lined out and very easy to follow.
Fantastic.
That's it. Okay.
That's really brilliant. Yeah, great. Thank you ever so much. I
Thank
just
you.
I just had a thought there. When you're emailing me, if it's possible with your invoice thing to email two addresses, can you do that? Or can you only email to one
I'm
address?
not sure. I could try both.
If you can, then try the ac@alanchapman.com. Because the Rude Angel is, I don't use Gmail that often. It's got an auto reply on it, so you'll get an auto reply. It should forward to me, but I don't go and check it routinely. My Gmail. If I've got the email to Alan Chapman as well, then I'll know I've got it, and then I'll go back to Gmail and then carry on through Gmail, if you know what I mean.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so what I'll try to do with you is keep it going with your main one, like all when I send out all the memes, when I send you the videos, with all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'll keep it with AC at Alan Chapman. And then just for the day that we upload our chapters to exchange them.
Yeah, all of that stuff, the mechanical stuff together when we're working together online with the Google Drive or whatever it is, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Cybernetics again, isn't it? We do. Right. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yes. Thank you for showing up.
Hey, thank you for being there. Wonderful. Right, is that it then?
That's it, honey. We're good.
Thank you so much, Lonnie. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye
Good
bye, dear.
night.
Yeah.
Bye now.
Have a good
Bye.
night. Bye.